Hey there, friend, JhN here, and today we're going to describe 3 different techniques that are really profound for having a more successful meditation session, whether it's getting rid of the scatterbrain, going really deep, trying to locate the self and have a really profound experience with self-realization. These are 3 of my favorite tips that I teach my clients, and they really do work extremely well. Thank you for checking out this video. Please make sure to subscribe and let me know if you have any questions on meditation in the comment section. So let's break down the first one, which I absolutely love, is when we're considering a thought or stream of thoughts, and we're just having that kind of scatterbrain and we cannot focus. It's just, we cannot turn that thinking mind off no matter what we do. Ask this question: what will be my next thought? And then after you ask that question, the importance here is to observe the pocket of space, of emptiness, of quietude, which flows in after you ask that question. So it's kind of like you're going to ask somebody's response to something, ask them a question, and they don't know the answer, and you're just kind of being extremely present in the space that comes after you asking the question. And so what you're going to do is you're going to see that ego, that thinking mind, is kind of you're calling their move. You're calling their shot before they're allowed to think, or before it's allowed to project a new thought out into your consciousness. And so what's going to happen is you're going to ask that question, that pocket of space opens up, and you're going to observe that and just be really supremely present in that. And then by the nature of the thinking mind, another thought will come, and then ask that question again and keep observing this space afterwards that comes in there, and just continue that momentum. And what we're trying to do is expand and deepen the pockets of awareness in that quietude which follows the asking of that question. Second one is called I love this because it was from the Mind Illuminated, and it's really powerful with another way of observing your thoughts are coming back in, especially if you have like a really frequent thought that is just kind of nonstop coming in and entering your consciousness. It's called let it come, let it be, let it go. It's kind of like when we're looking through the visor of our consciousness through a meditation and we get this thought that comes in, just observe it. Observe it come in, observe it linger, and then watch it depart. Make that observation. And it's kind of like if I'm looking through the windows here and just watching the seasons go by. You've seen those movie montages where it starts off with the spring rain and all the green and everything, and then the winds pick up and everything blooms and it gets sunnier, and the summer comes and then it cools, and the autumn winds come and the leaves change, and then it turns into snow. We're just merely observing the change. We're not tethered to that. We're not even saying we like this more than that or anything like that. We're just simple observers watching that kind of navigation or migration of change. That's what you're doing with your thought. I always imagine myself on a stream of consciousness, kind of like I'm on a canoe, but I am the canoe going down a stream. And then I'm taking in the entire little landscape before me. So there's land on either side, the stream, there's critters and deer and trees and sunlight and a wind and the leaves coming down. And any of those things are a thought. So the moment I turn my attention and focus in on a little squirrel that's got a little nut in his hand there, that thought has gained my attention. That's okay. I'm going to merely observe it and then remind myself that my goal, my focus, is to return back to take in the entire awareness of everything that's going on and continue going down that stream of consciousness. So I don't judge myself for looking at the squirrel or taking in a leaf. I literally observe, or merely observe myself, observing the thought and then centering back in on my goals of that conscious awareness. So it's kind of like that same thing. That thought comes in, let it come, let it be, and let it go. And the last tip, which I love, is asking this question: who am I? And the point of it, and this is from Sri Ramana Maharshi, is not to observe and think about and ruminate over who you are, especially if you're deep into meditation and spirituality, reincarnation, all this stuff. We're not supposed to have this existential consideration. It's actually what we're trying to do is trying to locate the source of asking that question. Who asked that question? When I speak to you now, you know that the sound is coming from my vocal cords being projected from my mouth, and you can hear me. So when we're trying to find or locate the source of the words or the sound that you are hearing right now, and you're in the same room, you're like, well, that's Joe. It's coming from Joe over there. But when we think something, where is that originating from? That thought, where does it come from? So asking the question, who am I, is like you're going to put on your detective hat and try to locate the source. So in a meditation, when you've built up some momentum, you're in a really nice kind of trance-like state and you've kind of centered in, ask that question. And then listen or try to discover where it came from. You know, I felt like I was traveling down an abyss, going deeper and deeper and deeper, because I continued asking the question and then trying to find the source. So you ask it once, and you try to locate it, and then the trail goes dead, if you will, or goes cold, and then you ask the question again, and you keep asking it, going deeper, trying to find and locate the source, which is self. You know, and it's a way to have self-realization, is reacquainting ourselves with the source or the origin of thought, which is self. And so it's a really masterful way to continue down that rabbit hole of deepening our consciousness through meditation. And Sri Ramana Maharshi claimed that that's the only thing you need to ask yourself, and to keep observing where that takes you. And eventually, if you do it enough, or however it unfolds, the self will be all that is merged, and anything else, it's kind of like a sun, anything else around it is just pulled into it and reabsorbed into self, including the ego. So it just kind of returns to self, and all that remains is self, is the pure oneness of consciousness, of the eternal sublime consciousness. So 3 really awesome techniques: the let it come, let it be, let it go, what will be my next thought, and who am I? And I hope they serve you well on your meditation journey. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and please let me know if you have any tips you'd like to share that really help you kind of navigate beyond little blockages that you may have with meditation, or just provided a supremely awesome experience. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.